Hi, guys, welcome back to another episode of We Perceive as We Are. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about new beginnings and basically how a new beginning can be a scary experience, one, and how sometimes we can be our own worst enemies when it comes to chasing our dreams and starting new things. Because sometimes, guys, I think we're all guilty of overthinking to the point of not starting things.
Mm.
So to open up the conversation, Lulu, do you think that you're a person who tends to overthink things to the point of not doing?
Yeah, I feel if a certain opportunity has, laid itself onto me, I wanna weigh out the pros and the cons, right? And it depends on, the specific situation, the specific opportunity, but weighing out the pros and the cons, and even though the cons can be just maybe an inch heavier, I'm always, as you say, I do overthink to the point where I don't know if it's the point to losing opportunities, but maybe I get distracted so much I don't like absorb it or like get into it as much. I don't enjoy it too much. It turns into more of a chore because when you've been wanting something and you've been calling something for so long and it's your passion, once it's actually there, since you've been asking for it and begging, you don't want to lose it, you don't want to fuck it up to the point where you're like, damn, I'm not even enjoying it. The passion that got me here to wanting it in the first place is no longer there now that I have it. It's just the idea of it that distracted me so much from it itself. Yeah.
No, I that makes sense. And I don't know, I think we've said this in one of the episodes before, but something that was made contrastingly so blatantly clear to me, something that was made blatantly clear to me is that I personally have a habit of focusing so much on the finer details that I kind of miss the entire bigger picture.
Yeah.
When you're so focused on the goal, you kind of miss the goal.
Yeah.
I know we've probably said this in an episode before. Why I ask about the overthinking and new beginnings, is because with the new year and even before that, we've been getting new opportunities to socialize more, to get more out there,
Yeah.
and not just in business but
But
also
also
in
in our
person,
personal life. Yeah.
and it's so scary because this entire time you're like, okay, this is what I want,
Yeah, and I feel in a lot of our episodes, or not a lot, in our most recent one, we've been talking about change a lot, right? And in accepting new opportunities and walking new paths in life, that is somewhere change, right? But then, it's different when you're kind of expecting it and you've been wanting it for a long time. You've been planning this new beginning or, imagining it, as I said, like focusing. So, it's not much of a difference, right? Change is important, is like a factor in it, but adjusting is different, because I just like the idea of it is not, most of the time, is not
heavy.
as heavy as the actual thing. When you want an opportunity, you want, earlier when we were talking about what we're going to be talking, earlier we were having a meeting or something, when you are you're asking for either a mansion, you beg, you pray, you manifest, you're working towards a mansion, and the idea of a mansion is so implemented in your head to the point where you get it, right? But then the idea of just maybe, let's say, living in the mansion for the class, for the idea of it, that's what you're going for, right? You didn't think about the logistics of having the mansion, the responsibility of having a mansion. Most of the time it's a nice place. You're gonna have to think about security, you're gonna have to think about maintenance, electricity, water. You didn't think about all this when you're asking for the mansion. Now you have a mansion plus all of those problems, and it's not the idea that you fell in love with in the first place. And I guess sometimes, and I guess I've heard it with some people, you end up regretting and you end up choosing the wrong thing, because I'm big on the idea that most of the time, maybe it's because in some way, this is definitely a topic when I reach in that different, how we're so detached from reality. I mean, it's media that, okay, swiping, you see that, and then you think it's going to be the same for you.
Mm, I get what you mean with the whole mansion thing. A new beginning also comes with new responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like, guys, new beginnings are great, growth is great and everything, but I feel like sometimes a thing that can panic one person. I don't even want to say something that people forget. Something that panics a lot of people in new beginnings is, oh no, I have now new responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I feel like something that a lot of people, maybe a lot of people can relate with this, né? But something that I personally tend to lose is that I am built for the new responsibilities. People get shy. You know, when you've been working for everything your entire life or for however long, and when it gets set to you, when it comes to you, you're kind of not expecting it.
Oh, it's kind of, am I ready? Am I gonna
Yeah.
fuck it up?
Or you
Yeah.
start doubting yourself, you know? And you kind of ask this question like, why did I doubt myself? Why is this doubt coming from, you know?
Especially, you know, when you've either an opportunity flops on you, or not flops, just lands on your lap out of nowhere. And I said it could not have even been something that you necessarily have been asking for, right? But
It could be a stepping stone.
a stepping stone to that, right? And I think when people, as I said, when you get the mansion, you all the responsibilities, part of your way of getting to the mansion is
A
you
brick.
got a job.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? A very successful job, and you're like, fuck, nah, I just wanted the money, I wanted to skip all of that. But then either through, it depends on how you feel, either through how, if it's the universe, if it's religion, if you believe in coincidence, just stuff happens. But me, I'm speaking from maybe that things happen for a reason, and you know, when you ask, you could ask, it can come from either a Christian point of view or a spiritual point of view, right? That it could come in different ways. And I feel when people either ask, and also in life generally, it doesn't show up
As you
how
expected.
you asked for it, or it's if you move into and you sing into it, you're like, I think about seeing the bigger picture of it all. Like, okay, this job, if I work it for a year and I'm smart about it, I can get my mansion and I can record, I can afford the maintenance fees and the lifestyle of having that mansion. So I feel like with opportunities and with, I guess, change and responsibility, either getting your dream job, getting an opportunity that you've been wanting, an opportunity that you need, right? And new beginnings, sometimes they're not chosen.
Yeah, sometimes new beginnings kind of like fall into your lap, and a lot of people will be like, think things through before you do them. Because sometimes with new beginnings, especially for overthinkers, you've got to close your eyes and you've got to jump.
Yeah, I do think if you know, if you're prone to overthinking, and you know that you are capable of talking yourself out of a
it.
situation and out of stress, to be like, you don't want to deal with the cons, but you want the pros, and they kind of outweigh, like, okay, no, I'd rather just not step into it. You know that, I feel if you break your leg jumping into the dark, you know that, okay, I'm not going to jump again, or I'll jump a little bit, you know, safer, or I'll have a parachute or something. But it's about starting. Once you've started, you put your foot forward, you've started that momentum, right? It's, I feel like the hardest part is starting, like putting your foot forward and starting to walk after you've been contemplating or walking. I feel like it really depends when it comes to new beginnings, because as I said, sometimes it's not chosen, but it's something that you need. And following a path and getting into new beginnings, especially when you're so used to something, can be hard. That links back into change. You know, we've talked about that, but like accepting it,
Stepping out of your comfort
stepping
zone.
out of your comfort zone is something else. Like, even if it's something that you really, really wanted, or it's something that you need. Because I feel like want is easier, because, you know, it's just something that you've been asking for. But then something that you need, it's more of a personal, I guess, battle about how you're feeling in your head.
Yeah, I guess such things are personally how a person approaches new beginnings. You know, our personal. It differs from person to person. You're right. You know, like when I see new opportunities, I want to know all around about it, all the details. Okay, how is this gonna happen? How is this gonna happen? How is this gonna happen? You know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because in the same breath, I'm quite a chill person. You know, so it's a thing of I've had to learn recently to trust myself, that I know what I'm doing when I take a decision, trust the support system around me, and trust yourself, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I've like we in the previous episode we talked about with the self-healing and staying true to yourself in change. That's where it comes in, because once you've trust yourself, once you think that I've got this, whatever new beginnings you've got, you kind of glide into it with the thing of, okay, whatever happens, and I've got this.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, guys, I know in today's episode it was quite short, not even short. This was a very snippet conversation, but we are quite tired, talked out, if we say so ourselves. This weekend we were part of an amazing event that was put together by us, Noveta kids, and my mother. And basically, the conversation was the transition from childhood into adulthood. Now, we will definitely be covering this topic on We Perceive As We Are in the future. But yeah, it was quite a beautiful event. We had a couple of speakers come and share their stories. I spoke a little bit, and it was a beautiful thing. People came together, and they,
Opened up, and
opened
we
up.
had a beautiful conversation. As Zila said, we definitely will be taking that conversation here into We Perceive As We Are. We're still getting the feel of having actual events. As you said, this is something that we want to be doing in the future. But yeah, we're just still building ourselves as a brand because we want to do it and do it right, and we do. And as you're saying, we're going to be having small ones probably in the future, hangouts, not full blown events, but hangout and talk discussions as stated before. But
Yeah, hopefully someday soon, guys. But again, we're all on a growing journey. Some of us take a little bit time than others. But I know that once this platform gets to the level and the growth that we have a future for it,
we've got the potential, we definitely have the drive, and I see this going places.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for all the support that you have given us, even with our lacking in some areas, But we do appreciate you guys coming along with us for this journey of growth on our platform. Not just me and Lulu, but even all our other co hosts and recurring guests. But yeah, this has been.
Just expect more improvements, maybe a little bit more bumps around the road. On the road, as we're saying, we're still growing, but when with every mistake we had this space to improve and not make that mistake again.
Yeah, so this has been We Perceive As You Are. Thank you for sticking around this long.
And last note, we will be having a live on Thursday. As we said, we apologize for the low energy. Oh, not on Thursday, sorry, for on Wednesday. So they will be popping off as we normally do. We're trying to be having a lot more lives than normal. So yeah, check that out on Wednesday.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.